you've done a lot of comedy movies, and there's a huge action element to this film, of course. And I'm wondering if you could talk me through your top 5 favorite action movies.
I think Heat is up there as one of them. I think the gunfight and the heist in Heat is pretty unbelievable. The car chase in To Live and Die in LA is probably up there as well. Yeah. That's pretty incredible. I think it's better than The French Connection. I'd have to give a massive nod to Eco and The Raid in terms of the style of fighting in that. I'm trying to think of other fighting movies. Pineapple Express was a big influence on this film in terms of just how visceral some of those little fighting sequences are and making them feel real and not pulling punches with that stuff. Oh, there's so many. Lethal Weapon, I'd probably say would be the last one.
You really are crazy. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go and get something to eat.
Obviously, you've got Eco in this, so there's a direct way in which you've kind of pulled from The Raid on this movie. What other elements of those movies, like what were you really looking at with those films that you pulled into this one?
I think there's what I like about Eco's stuff is that there's gunplay in the action as well, and it's also very creative, and they don't overcut, which I think is a massive problem of a lot of action these days, especially fight scenes, is they're overcut. So you have no perspective. You can't actually watch the movement or what they're doing. So, watch The Raid 2 specifically, like the Hammer Girl fight and the final moment all the way through. They're very specific with how they shoot it. And it's sort of the philosophy that I like to do is where you have a fight, you're not covering it from 7 different angles. You're going A to B, B to C, C to D, and you're very specific with how you cover it. So then you can accomplish more and you're not just like resetting and blowing your day. But I also think comedy in fights is a big thing. And I think of like, when it goes full circle, I think really physical, violent comedy or action can go full circle to comedy. And that's something I try to embrace in this film as much as possible.
Hit the gun! I'll shoot you! Stop! Stop! Take a shot! Shoot! Just defeat him! He's so little! Take the shot, Stu! Shoot! Come on!
And mistakes. Mistakes are key to making an action sequence funny. It's sort of the Shane Black idea that you gotta do the unexpected, or like the propane tank's a perfect example of that.
It's a wild scene. Did not even expect it to get like that. It was fantastic. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's fantastic. I mean, so talking about the comedy and bringing the comedy into the action. Yeah. In what ways did all of your comedy work kind of help prepare you for this sort of action comedy then?
It's just the baseline of like the comedy stuff, just sort of, it's just sort of training to make sure tonally the film works. Do you know what I mean? And then for the action, it's something, since I made Goon, I've been very excited about doing action, and I did a romantic comedy after that. So I was very ready to do an action movie. And I just feel like action comedies are, I say this all the time, but the action is either really good and the comedy suffers, or it's the flip of that. And I think there's no reason why a film can't work on all those cylinders, and all those cylinders can be firing. And it was more like a point of pride to be like, I don't want to pull any punches with the action. I want to make it feel like big and like old school, but it doesn't mean it can't have heart and it can't be funny, So the comedy just sort of, they all sort of feed into each other. It's hard to describe.
Got this. Hello, operator, we need help. Someone's trying to murder us. Hello, operator, we need help. Someone's trying to murder us. Fuck.